Hi, guys. Good evening.
Hello, my international professionals. How are you all? I hope you are all good. So, this is Tani Storani, Shona Brown. It's French. I don't know how to pronounce.
Brun.
Wow. And this is my YouTube channel where I bring um, international professionals, successful people that have succeeded, and it's now um, working and living abroad. And today we are here to talk about a very not nice topic, but needed, which is the global crisis and how to stay aware and competitive, okay, during this challenging time. So Shona is going to, like talk a little bit more about, like how is the marketplace right now, and I will
Mhm.
just, like answering your questions and giving my, like knowledge sometimes because today she hosts.
Well, thank you, Tana. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for setting aside time on a Monday evening to join us. As Tana mentioned, this isn't the nicest topic in the world for us to talk about, but it's real and it's happening. And so I think the most important thing for you as a job seeker and for us as career consultants is to be aware of our environment, okay? To work within our reality. That's one of the things we always discuss with our clients when they purchase our consulting. We got to work within reality. So being aware as to what's going on in the market, what some of the challenges might be for you, it allows you to stay ahead of your competition. Because it can be a shock if you jump into the job market right now and you expect to get a job tomorrow and it doesn't happen. Motivation can go low. You can start to feel that it's a problem with you.
Yeah,
If you stay on top of the market and you know what's going on, you give yourself a better chance to be resilient in a very dynamic job market.
yeah,
Um, so I guess some of the points that we're going to cover this evening are really just looking at, okay, what have been the significant reductions this year? Why? What can we look forward to in 2024? And then some tips as well. And obviously, as we always do, we'll open the floor up to questions. So feel free to pop your questions into the chat box and we'll come back to them when we get a chance. So I guess looking at the reductions that have happened this year, as you're all aware, we've seen some of the big guys like Meta, Google, Goldman Sachs, Pfizer, Salesforce, Indeed, Amazon, Intel. So some of the big guys have had cuts this year. And I guess when you sign a contract with one of these big companies, there's a sense of job security. So that can be quite a shock when we hear that these bigger companies are letting numbers go. It can really send a bit of a panic through the workforce. So why are companies letting go? What's happened? What's changed? So one of the first things is that there's been an overall slowdown in growth. So what we saw when we started to recover from the crash in 2008, 2009, we started seeing massive and rapid growth. And Dublin became a really dynamic place globally. Actually, the job market changed. There were lots of jobs. It was really a job seekers market.
yeah,
So there was rapid, rapid growth. And now what we're seeing is a bit of a slowdown. And there's been a couple of factors that have influenced that. So obviously, we're just coming out the other side of the pandemic. And don't underestimate how impactful that pandemic was for everybody. It was huge in terms of what it meant for the job market. So that's probably the first thing that we've seen happen. Companies are trying to recalibrate after a global pandemic. So, as you're aware, when the pandemic hit first, companies were hiring and hiring, particularly tech companies and logistics and supply chain, hiring like crazy. Um, and then what we saw was companies needed to recalibrate then, adapting from a fully remote workforce to a hybrid work and more to an on site working environment. So, with that, there came peaks and troughs. So, that's one of the big things. Obviously, as well, we have had a look at what's been going on in the world from a political standpoint. We
yes,
had what happened with Russia and Ukraine, now, obviously, what's going on in the Middle East, and all of these impact the workforce. So again, staying aware as to the political environment, it has a huge impact. So they're the two big ones that we've seen was been post-pandemic and then political impacts as well. So that's had a knock-on effect. So what we were seeing is that after that aggressive hiring, there was a slowdown. So recruitment budgets were cut, processes slowed down. Tana, dealing with some clients super frustrated. They did an interview and 2 months passed and they heard nothing. And it's
Yeah.
because everything started to slow down. So again, guys, this is not reflective of you or your profile. This is a global market problem that we're experiencing. So this isn't a you issue. It's just to be aware that this is what's going on. What about you, Tana, in terms of some of the frustrations you had from your clients regarding the market? What are you seeing with your guys?
Yeah, the frustrations are they send CVs and they don't get, like, companies don't get back to them,
Yeah,
or they reject the CV straight away after application,
yeah,
or like they call for an interview, but they never hear back, like any feedback,
yeah,
anything. And it's, I don't know, it's really frustrating,
yeah,
because before it was so easy. It was,
yeah,
simple to get a job and to get loads of interviews. So,
yeah,
before they, like, candidates were sending 50 CVs and getting 8 to 9 interviews. Now they send 50 CVs and they get 0 or 1 interview.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's totally that. And it is frustrating, guys. Even for us as careers consultants, we find this frustrating because we want our clients to be successful. And we went through a phase of there's so many clients, we got a job, and that's amazing. And now we're having to review our processes to be how can we be even better for you
For you.
during these really challenging times. So it is tricky, but it's not personal. That's what we're reminding our clients. This is not personal to you. This is a global
Yeah.
struggle.
And for the first time, actually, that's good thing to remember. For the first time, our team is actually doing resumes from laid off professionals.
Yeah, yeah, very
So
good point.
for whoever is watching us and don't know what's layoff, when
Mhm.
someone is fired, or let someone, like, the company let the person go, but
Yeah,
in this case is not because of performance issue,
yeah,
but because of the crisis. And
yeah.
the first time I was, like, reviewing and developing resumes from Google, Facebook,
Mm,
and Accenture clients,
yeah, the big ones.
the big ones.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really sad. It's really emotional to see because I suppose for us as recruiters and career consultants, we experienced this crash in 2008, 2009. It was a really hard time because what we love to do is help people get jobs. We don't like being there when people are losing jobs. It's a really difficult part of a recruiter's job and us as career consultants, but we are seeing it. And I think the one thing that I guess is our job as your consultant to do is to keep you motivated, to remind you that this is not a performance issue, as Tana said. This is not reflective of you. This is just reflective of a challenging time in the market. And I guess what's important to remember is that everything works in a circle and in a cycle. So we're going through a bad moment, but we will come out of it again. So it is about making sure that motivation stays high.
Yeah.
So then looking into, we're almost at the end of the year. So we have realistically a couple of weeks left to close out the year. So when we look at what are some of the trends for 2024, so a new year coming, hopefully a brighter year for everybody, looking at some of the trends reports that have been released by Morgan McKinley, they have a look at some of the key jobs that can be interesting. So for any of you working in these areas, there's a few roles or a few areas that look to be really exciting for 2024. So some of those roles are within business and data analysts. So it's going to be a big boomer for 2024. Global mobility specialists is another area that they're
Yes.
expecting a spike. Anyone within information security or cybersecurity, obviously AI is opening up a whole new world. So these are going to be areas for us to watch. Risk management roles and process engineering. So there's some of the sectors that Morgan and McKinley are expecting to really raise next year and to be really in the spotlight. So if any of you are skilled in those areas, it's a really good idea now to go back to your CV and ask yourself, is your CV optimized? Are you talking about projects? Are you talking about clients? Have you put your skills really in the spotlight, because they're the areas that we would hope to see really booming. Now, we always know in Ireland, tech will always be up there, pharma will be up there. There's always a few industries that are consistent, but they're just some of the ones we're looking at. And then in
Yes.
terms of trending and what we can expect to see, what's going to impact kind of the recruiter experience and the candidate experience as well. So obviously the working environment is ever changing. So as I said, we'd fully remote, then we started slipping more into hybrid, and now we're seeing more and more companies wanting you on the ground. So
Yes.
it seems that 2024 is going to be another year of calibration. So what I would say, guys, is be realistic about those of you who expect a fully remote role. They are harder to find than you think. So I would say if you have flexibility to consider hybrid, that's probably a safer way to go rather than the holy grail of a fully remote role. You will
Yes.
find them, but they're not as plentiful as they were in 2020, for example.
Yes. And companies, they want more and more in the company. And
Yeah,
some like I've been talking to some friends that works in recruitment agencies, and they actually said to me that some clients of them, companies, it's non-negotiable. It has to be full time in the office,
yeah, yeah,
like non-negotiable, like because most of the tech professionals, marketing, professionals, they don't want fully, like on site. And
yeah, exactly.
this could actually be, um, like it could put you out of the process if you say
Totally.
that you don't want on-site jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Because what recruiters sometimes what that can sound like, guys, is that you're not interpersonal. You're not someone who wants to collaborate. You're not a great communicator. It can be a very insular way to work completely at home and by yourself, not surrounded by your colleagues. And particularly for roles where creativeness and collaboration and sometimes recruiters feel that you lose those soft skills when you're not in a collaborative space. So as Tana said, unless it's a really niche role that you need to do remotely, really you should be showing yourself to be open and flexible to the kind of working environment that the recruiters are looking for. Another trend that's in 2024, and I know one that we're hearing, and you guys are probably hearing all 2023, is the impact of digital tools, the biggest one being artificial intelligence or AI. So, what does that mean for you as a job seeker? Well, it means remembering that things like ChatGPT is a tool to help you, but be really smart about how you use it. So it is there as a tool. Everybody's using it. We are using it. Recruiters are using it. Job seekers are using it. Everybody's using it. But it's about smart use. You do not want to undermine your own abilities by
Yes.
giving a plagiarized document. You don't want to be doing that. So you got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
What do you think of ChatGPT, Tana? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like it's just like when Google translation came up, like
Yes,
you can translate your resume, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good. Like
very
we've
true.
seen so many, horrible CVs translated by Google Translator, and
Yeah,
it's all wrong. It's
yeah,
the same with
yeah,
ChatGPT. Do you understand? So yes, you can use ChatGPT, but you have to be so careful because recruiters are
mm,
using, other candidates are using. Now we are getting
yeah.
resumes from
And we
clients
know,
and completely see that the resume was done by ChatGPT because it's so vague.
yeah,
It's so vague, like it's saying
yeah.
everything but saying nothing.
Yeah, totally robotic. There's no value.
No value, like the recruiter will
E-
see like this is what is this? That
Exactly.
it doesn't have doesn't show how you added value in the company, doesn't show
Yeah,
your achievements, doesn't show your results, doesn't give like
yeah,
specifics of your previous jobs, like client names, market
totally.
shares that you've worked. Do you understand?
Yeah,
It's just words, but the
yeah,
words doesn't really say much.
Absolutely. And there's another thing as well I find, and we see this between clients who purchase our administrative service only, which is where we have a quick call just to confirm dates, but really it's administrative, it's preparing a CV. And then we see the difference with clients who purchase a consultation. During a consultation, we walk you through your career, we get to know you, what you've done, we get to help identify your skills, we get to show you how to talk about those skills in the right way. So we find that even though we've helped you do your CV, when it comes to you presenting your skills, you feel confident doing it because we've worked together. Whereas if you produce a document off ChatGPT or any AI, when you sit down in front of a recruiter, you will not be able to support that content because you didn't participate in creating it. You just took it off a computer. It will be like doing your thesis and then sitting down and asking someone, can we talk about it? So it's really important to remember ChatGPT is a tool. Yes, let it help you. Do not let it do the job for you guys. The market is competitive, it's aggressive. You need to be able to stand out, and that means identifying your contributions and value.
Yes. Plus, you have to remember, my international professionals, that now you are competing with, yeah, other
Yeah.
professionals that have already experience in Ireland. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
You're not only
Hmm.
competing with other, Brazilians or nationalities that arrived here and are trying to get a job, a first time job in Ireland. No, you are actually competing with professionals that have 2, 3, 8 years of experience working
Yeah.
in big tech companies, amazing, well-known multinationals. So you
Yeah.
have to be clever. You have to be a sniper. Okay,
Yeah.
have to be a sniper, not a normal soldier. The normal
Yeah.
soldier, like shoots everywhere, like, and doesn't really care where it's shooting. Like, it's just like the
Yeah.
resumes, send resumes everywhere, like boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. Don't do that. Okay, you have to adapt your CV. So
Yeah.
you will have like a generic CV, the basic, but then every time you're going to send your CV to a position, take the job description and have a good look and adapt your resume to that job description.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah. And it makes all the difference because even like, for example, if you've done, let's say you've done marketing and sales, you've done a sales and marketing coordination role. As you know, sales and marketing are two very different functions. So if I apply for a marketing role and a recruiter gets a sense that I'm just a salesperson, they're never going to call me for the job. So you need to really think, what have you done and how can you apply it for the particular role that you're going for? Adaptation is key. We can present you with a beautiful CV, but you've got to be breathing new life into it every single time you apply. Otherwise, you will not be staying competitive. So just definitely that is a big, big, big red
Yeah.
flag to remember.
And where you
Um,
want to adapt this resume, Shona, because this is a question some of
yeah.
clients ask me. So how to adapt?
So adapt can be really, as Tana said, it's about analyzing your job description and identifying the key language in your job description. So for example, we'll take a sales role. Maybe there's business development, maybe there's cold calling, maybe there's database management, maybe there's presenting workshops or trade shows. If you see that that's what the role requires, then you need to go to your experience and say, okay, was I ever part of a cold calling exercise? Did I ever develop a new client account from scratch? What was the value? What did I grow during that time? And then start to add in that information. There's no point in talking about customer service routines and not talking about sales or business development, because if you miss those keyword captures, then your CV is not going to pass through the ATS system, which is where we need you to be. We need to get you through that first gate. Otherwise, a recruiter won't even look at your document. So we need to get you through that first gate. And the job description is everything. Everything you need to know, not only for your application, but for your interview, it's in that job description. Don't underestimate how powerful the job description is.
Yes. So, and I would say adapt in your summary and adapt in
Yes.
your job activities. Okay. You
Yeah.
can even get some parts of the job description and create a achievement, because
Mm,
If they want something like that, like experience or expertise, like cold calling, and imagine you have overachieved the targets of cold calling in 2020. This is an achievement. This is amazing. It's an
Absolutely.
amazing way
Yeah.
to see how much you added value in the company.
Yeah, very good example. Very good example because it is value, guys. It is about, remember, if I'm a recruiter and I'm hiring a sales manager and I receive 50 sales manager CVs, they're all going to look a bit the same because a sales manager is a sales manager regardless the industry. So the CV that has taken the time to demonstrate their achievement, their added value, that's the one I want to meet for an interview. So you've got to pitch yourself higher than your competitors.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then in terms of other trends that we're going to see for 2024, there's going to be a big emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So company culture is becoming more and more important. Companies want to be seen that they're fair employers. They want to see that they have an equal amount of females rising through the ranks as men. Absolutely right. People from the LGBTQ plus communities, they want to be using inclusive language. So if you're applying for positions, get to know the company culture and ask yourself as well, is this a culture I agree with? Do they have a huge emphasis, for example, on environmental initiatives? Maybe they're a very green company. Things like that to understand, is your profile aligning with the profile of the company? So just be aware about culture, because when it comes to interview, that's where you can make a really good connection between you and the hiring manager,
Yeah.
talking about things that are important to the company that are also important to you. This really sells you as a culture fit, not just as a skill fit. So that's one that Morgan McKinley are telling us to be aware of. And also a big red flag for next year, and this is currently being discussed in the government as well, is the idea of more skill based hiring. So, what that means, classically, on a job requirement, it would have asked for a bachelor degree. What the government are trying to encourage is that not everyone has a third level education, and experience can be as important. So,
Yes.
it's to say that if you're not graduated in a particular area, if you have the experience to leverage instead, then you need to be confident about using your experience if you're missing academics. So, courses as well are really helpful. If maybe you didn't finish your degree and you're worried that it's going to put you at a disadvantage, ask yourself, okay, well, what do I need to know? Do I need to do a course in GDPR? Do I need to do a course in bookkeeping? Do I need to do a course on customer service management? And can you fill that gap with lots of short courses in absence of a bachelor? So be
Yeah.
aware of what the skills are and then upskill yourself with courses in the absence. So that's really the big trends we're looking at for 2024. Maybe some,
I'm going to share my screen
oh
and
yes.
show you guys this website. Okay, so this website, it's the springboard, um it springboards courses. Okay, so this is a Irish government initiative, okay, to boost the market. So
Hmm.
basically what the Irish government is trying to do here um, is to increase the level technical knowledge in the marketplace, okay, in Ireland. All right. So the Irish government built relationship and with the universities. I don't know how actually works. I don't know if the government pays the universities. For sure they do. I think they pay the
Yeah.
course for the university. And here you find free courses like bachelor degree, master's degree for Europeans and
Hmm.
even expats, but you have to have at least 2 years of or 4 years of tax paying.
Mm.
Yes. But the thing is, if go to this website and have a look of the courses they are offering. Okay, select all and search. Why? Because if the government is paying a university to provide a free course in Ireland, that means this is critical skills.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a need.
It's a
Absolutely.
need, which means this is something you can invest your time, your money, and
Hmm.
your future.
Yeah.
because this is the Irish government saying, like, we know it's missing, like what is that?
Biopharmaceuticals.
Biopharmaceutical scientists, or
There's the one, look,
really
cybersecurity. That's the
fine.
trend for next year.
Exactly. So if look, business analytics. So if this
Science and
expertise,
AI.
yes, science. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Really
CCTI.
interesting one,
That's
guys.
so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keep an eye on AI, guys. This is going to be
And
a
it's
big one for any of you
free.
techie. Yeah, really, really good initiative.
Yeah, so that means if the government's paying university to provide a free course to the public, that means this is hot,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a
right?
need, and go for sure. So, like, as we're coming to the end of the year, everyone's the same. Everyone's tired. Motivation is low. It's been a long, hard year. So, everyone is ready for the end of the year. Use this time as an opportunity of reflection so that when you step into 2024, you've got an action plan and you've got a strategy. The start of the new year, I know it sounds really, cheesy. What's people's New Year's resolution? But truly, there is a boost that comes with a new year. So if you're sitting in a job that's making you miserable, or you're not fulfilling your potential, now is the time to start to put in place an action plan. What do you need to do with your profile? What courses can you do to boost yourself, to make your profile more dynamic and more competitive? And then jump into 2024 ready to go, dynamic, and with your profile as optimized as possible.
Yes, yes. We have a question, Shona.
Mm-hmm.
Eveline. Hello for all. Dear Shona, please could you
Hello.
share us your opinion about market for 50 plus?
Yes. Well, I mean, don't underestimate the value of experience. And the one thing that anyone we would say as well when we think of, I suppose, more mature people coming into the workplace environment is, what do you have over your competitors? And that's going to be experience, maturity, wisdom, that kind of calming environment within a team, that natural leadership that comes as well with experience. So, really understanding how to place your experience in value. Okay. So, how to really look back over your career and push your most interesting experience to the forefront. One thing as well that can happen when we've been doing our job for a long time, or we've been working for a long time, is we've been getting lots of experience, but maybe our skills or our knowledge has got a little bit rusty. So maybe
Rusty.
you need to look at what's going on. Do you need to take any refresher courses? Say, for example, AI, if you're a tech person. And you may be seeing that all the people who are newly graduated or new in their industry might have lots of knowledge about AI, but for you, it's not really something you've ever touched before. So, getting up to date with emerging tools, technologies, best practices, methodologies to give yourself not only, I guess, an edge and staying, on top of your industry, but also to complement the years of experience that you have, but always use it as your added value. Try not to think of it as a deficit. Try to put it forward as your added value, the experience, the wisdom, the maturity that it gives you as a candidate stepping into a team.
Yes, exactly. Any questions? Any more questions, guys? We have a few people watching us, so if you have any questions, just send it over.
Mm-hmm.
We're
What
gonna
would be your tip, Tana, for 2024, grabbing 2024?
look, it's being such a weird year, right?
It has.
Such a weird year. Ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing, some areas really boosting.
Yeah.
Uh, easy to get a job for, like civil engineers,
Yes.
architects, pharma professionals. And
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, like for so hard for marketing, for
Recruiters.
recruitment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a really hard. A
Yeah.
friend of mine, she works at TikTok.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
TikTok, no, Instagram.
Oh,
Instagram.
yeah.
No, actually works for Pinterest. Pinterest. That's
One of them.
one of the Pinterest,
Yeah.
and she was like, she was like, Tana, it's so sad because,
Yeah.
like we've been on, like hiring freeze for I don't know how many months. She's not
Mm.
recruiting. She's doing something different. Like she's doing like other. She's helping other departments.
Oh,
It's,
wow. Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
Even Amazon. So I have a friend working at Amazon, and she's also like recruiting really little, and now she's actually recruiting, helping other departments around the world, recruitment
Okay.
departments, to hire special need professionals. Because
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, because like here in Ireland we don't have that, but for example in Brazil and some other countries they have like a quota of
Uh-huh.
a minimum special need people, like working in a company.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
Really good, but like again, she was allocated to a
Yeah.
different area rather than hiring executives, like for
Yeah.
it's so
So we're
sad.
all feeling it.
It's so sad to hear,
Yeah.
like these stories. So like what I would do, my tip, like seriously, it's stay ahead of the market in regards to courses.
Yep.
Do a lot of networking.
Yes.
Networking is so important. It's like
Mm.
if the recruiter is not, like finding you or recruiting you through the normal recruitment process, network. Maybe you meet the hiring manager and this guy, brings you to the team. We never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Oh,
Networking is
networking is
important.
everything. Yeah. It's everything. Building up that professional base around you, it is so important.
Look, yesterday I was at a friend's house, and she is not European, like she actually she got twice the stamp one,
Oh,
twice.
wow, yeah.
So, and in sales they paid her for a sales position, and they um um paid for the visa. And she said, Tana, like I don't know if I was lucky or if like the market is easy, because for me it was so easy.
Mm,
And I don't know what to say, because I was telling her like how difficult it was,
mm.
and she was like, look, for me it wasn't difficult at all, and I actually got my two jobs through networking.
Wow. Well, yeah, networking is it, as we say, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
So get
And
out there.
that's what she said. She was like, Tana, for me it was so
Yeah.
easy because, like I just met someone that introduced me to my hiring manager, to my manager, and like I was hired. And
Yeah.
same in my second job, it was all through networking. Someone that knew me, like introduced me to this company, and
Mm,
they
yeah.
asked me for an interview.
Yeah. Oh no, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. That's why be mindful about your approaches, guys, when you're reaching out to recruiters, because it's that first step. You want to get it right.
Yeah,
But it is super, super important. So
yeah.
yeah, stay ahead of the game and network like crazy.
We have a question here, Louisa. It's important to adapt a CV according to the job description. What about LinkedIn? That's a good question.
It is a good question. Do you want to take it?
No, you can go ahead. It's up to you.
Okay. So so for the LinkedIn, obviously you can't change your LinkedIn profile every single time you apply for a job, or you'd never stop updating your LinkedIn. What
No.
I would say is to have a really core focus. So one of the big mistakes our clients can make is say, "Oh, I'm open to everything. I'll do a customer service job. Oh no, maybe a sales. Oh no, maybe a marketing." Because it's almost impossible to streamline a profile for someone who will do everything. So it's important to have a focus. So maybe you say, "Look, I really want to work in finance. I'm going to give myself 6 months. If I can't get a job in 6 months, I'll look at customer service." So then for 6 months, you know your area. You're really focusing on finance. So, yes, for each CV, you're going to adapt it. But for LinkedIn, you'll have a constant profile. What will be super important, though, is you keep an eye on your skills part of LinkedIn. So each time, look, you can have up to 50 skills. So you keep those refreshed, you keep them relevant to the kind of jobs that you want, and you keep a streamlined focus. If you find that in 6 months you're not getting any success for a financial job, and then you want to change direction to customer service, you obviously need to change the direction of your CV and go back to basics and change your LinkedIn profile as well. But you don't need to be doing a constant
No,
100%
no.
remake on your LinkedIn.
And again, the recruiter, when you apply for a job, she's going to look at your resume. All right.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and when she goes to your LinkedIn, what she's going to check is the job titles. Are the job titles? If the job titles and the dates are aligned with the same job titles and dates in your CV, she's not going to check the activities in your LinkedIn, because she has
Yeah.
already your CV. So the thing is, LinkedIn is good for you to be found. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you apply for a job, you adapt the resume for a job and you apply for this job, the recruiter will call you and find you through this application, not through LinkedIn. Do you understand?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't need to adapt your LinkedIn every time, because as Shona said, it's really important to adapt your skills and to, like, have make sure you use the software. So the platform, like the software shares your profile
Yeah.
to recruiters and other professionals. But in your LinkedIn, you actually have the same information from your basic resume, like the one we make for you guys. So this
Yeah.
is your basic resume. So this information has to be aligned. But
Yeah.
when you apply for a job, you adapt the summary and you adapt a few parts of the activities, and that's it. You don't need to change LinkedIn every time.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I think that was it for questions. We just had someone else looking for courses, Carolina, but you sent that over.
I send that
So I
over.
think
And do you have any tip or anything to tell them? So we finish
I'd
our live of today.
I'd say just stay, as Tana said, stay competitive, stay knowledgeable. Really, guys, stay up to date with your industry. So, if, for example, it's tech that you're in, be following hashtags on LinkedIn, be following the companies that you want to work for so that you stay up to date with the information and what's new in the company. What you don't want to be is irrelevant. And when I say that, I don't mean by skills, I mean by knowledge. To really sell yourself to a company, you have to show that you care about that company, that you care about that industry. So stay up to date with what's happening, whether that's reading Twitter posts, whether that's following hashtags on LinkedIn, but try and keep yourself knowledgeable, because then you can know, okay, there's a new technology emerging, I got to take that course. Or there's a new sales manager has just joined that team, I'm going to reach out and connect to them. Staying up to speed will keep you dynamic and ahead of your competitors, but definitely pull your motivation up as we step into 2024. Get your game plans in action, and hopefully next year will be a better year for all of us.
Yes. And Carolina is asking, what is expected in the cover letter?
Oh, the cover letter. Oh my goodness. The cover letter. Listen, I'm of the opinion that cover letters, recruiters don't always read them. Some recruiters love them, some love them, others don't take time. What's important is that you send it. Better to send it and nobody reads it than don't send it and it looks like an incomplete application. So
Yeah.
really what you're looking in your cover letter, it's your bio, it's your summary, couple of examples of what you've done, key highlights or wins, a little bit about your motivation, why you want to work in the company, and then your closing objective with a very important, I look forward to hearing from you, to really prompt the next level of communication. But it's something that we do for our clients. And if clients are applying for a particular role, we can certainly make a personalized cover letter
Yeah,
based on that role.
exactly. And that's it, guys. I think we are done
Yeah.
for today. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. It was so great to speak to everyone, and you'll be seeing myself and Tana now every Monday. Will bring us up to the middle of December, and so hopefully there'll be a few more faces joining us next week.
Yes. So see you next week. Goodbye,
See
guys.
you, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.
And